Hey, folks. Long time no see. I think last time we were all together, it was around Christmas time when the last phase came out. But hey, here we are, all together again, right? So, welcome back to the channel. I'm Grim Titan, or Richard, or Ricard, or in this case, Druck here, right? Pardon the cold, pardon the snorting, and all that stuff. I have the old, sickness coming down again, right? So, let's just break down what's going on, right? So, if you've been following me for a while, you already know, I get lost in the worlds. I love role-playing. I'm a nerd. I'm a part of Dunehold. I do the dwarf roleplay stuff. In real life, I'm always playing tabletop roleplay games, all that kind of stuff. I get lost in this stuff, right? And today, we're diving headfirst into, a ton of hype, some discussion, and frankly, some jank. But, best possible way. We're talking Ash's Creation now, Alpha 3, right? Phase 3, here we go. We made it, right? Now, before we get any further, those you know, I'm going to be level with you all. I am a massive roleplay nerd. I love being immersed in this kind of stuff. I love the lore. I've made some videos now on the lore of the dwarf stuff here in the Anvils. I love making character lore and backstories, stuff that I know other people aren't even going to read, but I still make that stuff because it's fun, right? Sometimes I forget that, I could forgive, I should say. I could forgive a lot in a game for world building and all this kind of stuff because I do it myself, right? I build stuff with it. I realize it's not as good as I thought. Once again, sorry about the cold here. But that's a big bad thing, I believe in the heart, and I believe in the heart of this game, and I believe in the heart of fellow gamers, and I'm an optimistic human being like that. I'm a pessimistic in a lot of things. When it comes to humans, I like to be very optimistic. And when I view this game and I view the devs behind this, I'm very optimistic. I'm hopeful. Right now, I am casual. I'm a casual Andy. I play 2-3 hours a day, at most, and I call it good. I get home from work around 3-4 in the afternoon. I play till like 5-7 o'clock at night, and then I go do other things and I go to bed, right? Or if I'm lucky, it's a Friday night and I'll play a lot. Saturday nights I can't even play. I'm running a tabletop game with my friends, so I don't even play Saturday nights. And Sunday nights I have to treat like a school night. Like I go to bed early on Sunday because I got work in the morning, right? So I don't play 8, 9, 10 hours a day. I don't do big raids. I don't do big events. I just don't have time for it, and I don't have the ability. It's just not in my wheelhouse. I admit my faults and I admit where I am. I play this game. I'm lucky to play the hours I do, and then I have to log and go right back into reality, right? I'm not a theory crafter. I don't make theory crafting videos. I can't min-max. I don't even gear collect or talk about gear, because hell, I have a level 13 mage, I have a level 10 bard, and I have this level 5, almost level 6 baby cleric, right? I was happy to get max level last phase with 2 characters. I'll be happy to see, 3-4 characters max level this phase, right? I'm not world first material here, kids, right? You get what you pay for, right? Alright. So I'm just meandering. I'm someone who plays a game. I wander around, I explore things, I play, I chop down trees, I mine things. I do what I can when I can, and I play what I can as much as I can, right? And I do a lot of kind of solo content. So my perspective is always going to be that. So when we talk about this alpha, we're talking it from my mindset as a casual Andy. Picture me as the doomer, boomer dad, someone in their 30s, 40s plus, wife, kids, family, job, can't play a lot. I am the average dude, right? I'm not playing hardcore in this. So keep that in mind. When I talk about this game, I'm talking about it from someone who is not deep into the dev blogs. I don't have a lot of time to watch the streams. I barely ever catch them. I'm not huge into the Discord. I'll once in a while post on the Ash's Creation Discord, but it goes way too fast for me to even catch up, and it's way too toxic to begin with, and it just doesn't make sense, but whatever. And being a part of Dunehold, like the guild's doing their whole thing. Like the guild's got this whole big hierarchy and all that stuff. I'm just a dude at the bottom who likes to drink some whiskey, play some games, go to work, talk about history, right? Because I'm a historian first and foremost. For those of you who know me in real life, I'm a historian. For those of you who know me from my other channels on YouTube, I'm a historian. I'm a history teacher. I'm a nerd. I'm an Air Force veteran. Right? That's how I define myself. So, first things first, let's just talk about the Dwarf Zone. It's everything I wanted. Looking around, it's everything I wanted. I got my dwarven head sculptures. I got my mountains that aren't like giant rocky mountains, like the Rocky Mountains, like out west. They're more like, you know, these mid-level. You can climb them, get over them, almost like the Appalachians. You know, you got, you know, your nice, you know, cliffs, and it feels like a dwarf zone. It has that aesthetic. If I were to paint you a picture of what dwarves would live, this feels like it. This is what I would call a dwarven zone. This has all the aesthetic appeal that I'd give it. I loved it. When running through the halls of Hammerfest and all that stuff, the very starter Anvil stuff, I loved it. I felt like I was in Moria. Like, I felt like I was playing Lord of the Rings or something like that. Like, it was cool. It was massive. Yeah, you know, you're kind of railroaded on the little paths you could take, but that's still, like, the look is what I was after. Like, the aesthetic is what matters, right? You know, you're gonna base it off the aesthetic, and the aesthetic was there. I loved it. Whoever did the art and did the design for that, chef's kiss to you. If you ever watch this video, hey, you got a fan. I loved it. I loved every second of it. It was fun. I made a YouTube video on the lore of the starter quests there. Even I enjoyed myself there. Right now, I really can only base things off the cosmetic because there's not a lot of there isn't questing really. Like, there's some starter quests and some quest chains, and you can go down them, and you know, there's some, right? You know, but it's not very in depth or detailed. And that's been a complaint even down, you know, for the past couple of phases, even down the Riverlands. That is more developed. Hey, I leveled up. Woo. It's just not developed yet, right? So I can't judge it off that yet when it doesn't exist. I mean, it just doesn't exist, so I can't comment on it, right? But I'd love to see what the questing does eventually kind of open up to, what these quests kind of turn more into, right? So, you know, it's not fully fleshed out deep quest lines. It is visually very appealing. I love that. The architecture, the way things are looking underground, above ground. It's detail. It's good. It's on the point. It sparks my imagination. It makes me feel like I'm in this world. It feels like could be some cool stories that unfold of like what happened here over the past 1,000+ years. Our characters were hiding off in Sanctus, and now we're coming back. You know, I feel like this could be a brilliant showcase for, like, you know, some future artistic visions here, right? I'm gonna base it off the potential. A+ for potential. C, B, you know, grade right now for what we do have, which is some good backdrop, some pretty scenery, and a lot of birds. A lot of damn birds. I feel like I'm in a Hitchcock film. Like, yeah. But anyway, back to, like, my rating, right? Like, we'll call this an alpha. We'll call this an alpha with a capital A. A+. This alpha, I'm going to be, you know, it may sound like I'm, you know, tooting horns, glazing here. I feel like I'm getting more of this alpha than I do other actual released games. You know, as someone who still to this day pays for a WoW subscription, I've played this more than I played WoW, and I'm only level, like, 6 on this character, right? So, what's that tell you? Like, I'm still actively paying for a game I'm barely playing, right? And I'm playing this game more than I'm playing the game I'm paying for, right? If I go off the Steam, you know, the rule of thumb, the hour per dollar kind of thing, if I pay for a $40 game, I want at least 40 hours of content. Hey, I've already, just from these past couple of phases of alpha, I've gotten my money's worth of what I've given into, like, the Kickstarters and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I've gotten my money's worth. I'm still playing. I'm going to keep playing for probably another several weeks, several months, especially with the new November patch. We'll see what that does. Like, yeah, no, I'm down for this. It's cool, and I'm really excited for, like, you know, getting to play with archetypes of, you know, blending, you know, cleric and bard and cleric, bard and mage. You know, just starting to play with the archetypes I like to see, and see what happens when we start doing class combos when that comes out. You know, what's max level going to be like? You know, what's balance? You know, all this. You know, there's so much potential. I'm looking forward to it. And as a casual Andy, it's good for me. I get a burst 2 hours here and there. I get a burst 2 hours here and the next day. But I don't burn myself out. I know a lot of people I'm talking to who do play a lot are burnt right now because they say there's not enough content. And it's like, yeah, I feel that. For you, there isn't. For someone who plays 10, 16 hours a day, there isn't enough content. I feel you on that. I'm sorry. Touch grass. That's the only recommendation I give you. Like, you know, as they jokingly say, you can't rush art, right? We can keep saying, hey, you know, Intrepid, meet your deadlines, but that's not gonna force them to magically pull this out their behinds and slap it on the table and be like, oh, if you walk up to the devs of Intrepid and be like, guys, finish your game, they're not gonna be like, oh my god, you're right. Why didn't I think about that myself? Like, you know, you can't just walk up to them and be like, you know, guys, you promised this a month ago. Why isn't it out yet? And they'll be like, oh my god, you're right. Why didn't we do it? Like, no, like, they're clearly trying to meet this stuff. It's just the practicality of when you're doing something new. This is a new studio. This is a new group of people. These are, you know, Steven has never ran a gaming company before this, right? Not that I know of. Like, this is all new for them. Yeah, they got some veterans and some old hats to join in, but, like, they're still a small team, 250 people, like, building from the ground up. Like, I don't expect anything. I'm just happy things work. Like, my view of this as an alpha, I log in, I hit tree fall down, good game. Like, I expect the basics. This is an alpha. Like, I don't expect a damn thing to work in this game. I expect everything to actually fail. I expect to fall through the world. I expect everything to catastrophically explode on me. This is testing. Like, I don't know what world most people come from, but when I hear testing, I expect things to be bad. I don't know. And since things aren't horrible, I'm pleasantly surprised, right? I'm playing this game like this is actually a playable game. I'm putting more hours in this game than in New World. That was a finished product. And I'm putting more hours in this game than I ever did in New World. That's awesome. I call that a win. Yes, it's an alpha, but A plus, right? Like, A for effort, what do you want to call it, right? People are coming in this expecting a polished, complete AAA release. It's like, dude, this is the test. This is the alpha. There's still a beta, and then there's still the launch, and there's all the patches and expansions to come after that. Like, come on, what are your expectations? Like, damn, I'm sorry. Like, if you come in with high expectations, you're just gonna have a bad time. I don't know. Maybe this is like, you know, some psychology behind my brain. Like, maybe, you know, having parents that disappointed me early on in my life, you know, I just kind of expect to be disappointed. And so when things meet my disappointingly low expectations, I'm pleasantly surprised, right? If you put that bar low, when people hit that low bar, you're happy. And when people succeed, like, go better than that low bar, you're happy, right? Like, you're even happier, right? So, you know, it's wonky, it's janky, but I like it. You know, animations may not all be there. Placeholders still exist. And sometimes, yeah, you fall through the world and things don't work out the way you do, especially here in the Anvils, where you die randomly to horrible deaths and you lose all your stuff. But it is what it is. You know, it just is what it is. Like, that's a test. None of this matters. It's all gonna get wiped anyway. Like, we're in alpha. There's still a beta and then the launch. Like, what do you want? And even when launch happens, like, I don't know. I just got used to, like, on WoW and other games, like, yeah, you swap servers at times even. So you start all over anyway, because your guild says, hey, man, this server we're on sucks. So you start over. Like, I don't know. The object permanence that people have for, like, how the game should go at times baffles me. I don't know. But hey, let's be super clear here. I'm just a casual dude. I do my 2-3 hours. I'm happy. I'm happy with what I get. People who put in 10, 16 hours, who try hard, who are trying to get max level, try and get that max content, who are doing those raids, will have a completely different view of this game and opinion. And WoW, I'm never touching Mythic. I don't even like actual raids. I'll do the raid finder. I'm that boring. I'm that casual. I love groups. I'll group all day long. I loved in Burning Crusade and Wrath of the Lich King. I love doing heroics. I'll do heroics all day long. I like just getting a group of, you know, random people that, you know, like, hey, we all don't know each other. Let's just see if we can do a heroic together. You know, back in the day, that was fun. You know, it was kind of nice to challenge pugs. I like that. I like grabbing random people and doing things with them. I'm not always about, like, let's get this elite team and you know, go storm Baradur, you know, go throw a ring into the fire, right? Yeah, I like playing with casuals and being a casual. Sorry. My expectations going to this were simple. I expected to be fundamentally broken. I expected to see bugs. I expected to see features missing and unfinished, and my friends, Ash Creations, delivered on those expectations. Yeah, but I love it. I got a peek behind the curtain. I got to see the magic behind how games are developed, and I'm happy with what I got. I got exactly what I expected, and I like what I'm seeing. I'm basing off the potential. I'm basing off the enthusiasm of the creators. I'm basing it off of purely my perception of what my experience is and what I'm seeing from the limited content I do consume from the Intrepid Studio. Now, that's just my opinion. Now, I will give some critiques. Like, once again, I feel like I'm living in an Alfred Hitchcock film. Birds everywhere. If I leave this safety of this little fishing spot, I'm gonna be attacked by 30 damn hawks over there, and feel like I'm fending off every 10 feet like 8 or 9 birds. It's mob density is ridiculous, but it is what it is. That's expected. I don't know. I'm weird like that. I expect that. I expect it to be janky because they said this was going to be a skeleton. They said when they made the anvils, it was going to be bare bones basic. And it is. It's bare bones basic. And so I expected, just like you kind of just slap, a quick paint job over something and call it, good enough for government work. They did the same thing, like slap some mobs over the anvils and call it good enough for now. You got a skeleton. Enjoy. And yeah, it's a skeleton. Like, cool. Yeah. I don't know. For me, it's cool just to explore these new environments, explore this new map, explore all these new zones, have fun with it, play my 1 or 2 hours, see a new spot, fish, farm, go be a lumberjack, go be a miner, go level up a character, join a group to go farm some mobs here and there. Ultimately, because there isn't a lot of questing, I'm not playing a lot of PvE content. I did it, back during Christmas time where I would, 5-6 hours when I had the Christmas break, right, and school was off, spend the whole day just grinding with the guild and helping either my other lobies get up to level or whatever. Yeah, did it. I don't want to do it again. It's not fun to sit there and they just kicked me out. Oh, son of a. It's not fun. It's not fun to sit there and just grind the same spot for hours on end. I don't enjoy that content. I did it just to say I did it and got those characters to max level back during last phase. I'm not gonna do it again. I'll level the way I'm leveling now. I changed my hair and facial hair with that reload. I'm gonna play it the way I'm playing. Slow level. Just take it easy. Enjoy life for what it is. That's how I'm going to play it. And that kind of brings me to my next point. The toxicity. I feel like I'm repeating my WoW Classic experience, right? I've seen it with hype in other games. I'm seeing it all over again with this game. It's kind of sad, and it's very cringe. And before people start taking pitchforks and guns to me and doxing me and trying to hunt down my cat or whatever, let's be honest, we're a community of adults. The average MMO player is old. We're in our 30s, 40s. Especially this community. Ash's Creation, the people who play this played other old MMOs, and that's why we're interested in this MMO. 30s, 40s, maybe even older. Like, we have jobs, we have responsibilities, we have wives, divorces, parents, grandparents, children, maybe even grandchildren, pet rocks, whatever. Again, I feel like we're all walking around like we're 16 again. It reminds me of like a classic high school like meme jokes. You know, like you got that guy who's like in high school, you got the guy now who still always reflects back to high school, talking about how he was quarterback back in the day and how he was, you know, the hot shit, and he wants to still act like that. Like his guild tag means something, that, you know, he's here, like he's serious about this. You all know the guy, you know, like you've met someone in your life like this, you know, the one high school person who peaked back in the day and wants to relive that. You know, a lot of us here in our 30s, 40s, you know, we have our lives right now, and we're seeing people who are like acting like this is Xbox Live again, with how they talk in global chat and how they act in Discord and just how they handle social interactions. They forget that the person at the opposite end of that name is a human being. That we're now capable of that thing called empathy and critical thinking and thought, and you know, we're not just a name on the internet. Like, this is a social sandbox game. The social part is what matters. If you're so antisocial, like, good God, like, anyway. But yeah, like, you know, we're seeing these people who, you know, were acting like they peaked back in high school, and, you know, picture we're going to a school reunion, and they're talking smack at the reunion. You know, we're all here drinking our little, you know, mixed drinks or old fashions, or maybe our you know, having a beer or two. And, you know, I want to listen to Linda over here talk about her 8 cats and 3 divorces, because, you know, why not? You know, I haven't seen her since, you know, 2008, you know, 2007, you know, whatever, back when we were still bombing the Middle East. And, well, what's going on, right? You know, tell me about how life is now. What, you know, what's your second husband up to? And then we got Chet over here, who was quarterback of the team, who's like, as you're trying to drink your old fashioned, is like putting a football on your left hand and be like, let's go play the Super Bowl, let's go play again like we used to. And like, you're like half juggling a mixed drink in hand and the football, and he's there like tackling Dave from, you know, accounting. He's an accountant now, like, and you know, yeah, sure, back in the day he was, you know, linebacker or whatever, but not anymore. Like, what the hell? Calm down, Chet. And, you know, he's smack talking people and flexing over top of people, and, you know, calling people, you know, you're a noob, get better, you know, skill issue, bro. And it's like, dude, like, I was here for the half off drinks after 5, like, and to go, you know, see who got fat after graduation. We're not 16 anymore playing homecoming. Like, why are you treating this like the Super Bowl? Like, calm down. Like, this isn't fun. Like, we're just here to toss this football around because we all played football back in the day. We all loved MMOs back in the day. We loved what Arcade was. We loved what WoW was. We loved it all. And we want to get some of that experience again. It's fun. But I'm not 16 anymore. I'm much older. Decades older. I don't want to play like I'm 16 anymore. I'm not here to flex over top of you and teabag you and do the Halo Spartan. I just want to fucking chop a tree and then run a pack. Yeah, maybe our guild will get into a fight, but dude, the guild versus guild attitudes, oh, you got that tag, I gotta, you know, teabag you now and camp you, like, whoa, what's going on, bro? Who hurt you? Like, I think I'm the guy who needs therapy at times, but Jesus. And we got people treating this like this is the final version of the game. This is the end-all be-all, like exploiting, going to the very top, like, you know, try-harding this, like, you must put 40 hours a week plus. You must treat this like a part-time or full-time job if you want to be in this guild. Like, dude, it's not even a finished product. You're not even being paid for this. If anything, like, you're pretty much paying into it. Like, what? This is a community. We're adults. This is just like shocking. Like, I'm just like, what? You know, and the irony of it is this is an alpha. Like, none of this matters. Like, we have a beta coming up, and, you know, then the launch. Like, all this grind is for nothing. Not to be a nihilist, not to be like, you know, the Big Lebowski German nihilist. Like, oh man, the German nihilists, nothing matters. Like, no, it's like, dude, like, it doesn't matter. Like, we're here to test things. Like, why are you exploiting and being so hardcore and being an asshole? Sorry, pardon my language, but like, dude, calm down. It's not that important. You know, this is a testing environment, you know, not a place to build a legacy as like your top dog. This isn't like the spot where you rip open your shirt and have your guild like tattooed on your chest. Like, ain't nobody about that, bro. Like, calm down. Like, it's cringy. It's great that you have pride in your online pixels. Cool. Bit weird, but cool, bro. I'm a dude, living my life, just doing my thing. I don't know why you are so... You're spamming me with whispers saying, lol, noob, get wrecked. Yeah. Dude, it's 2025. What do you want, right? And hey, I'm not bashing people who want to spend 10, 16 hours a day playing this game. If anything, that's a good thing. That's cool, actually. That's a heartfelt, cool thing. If you are spending 10, 16 hours playing this game, that means there is good content, there's investment, there's an emotional buy-in for this game. And that is awesome. That is actually a beautiful thing. That if you have that much of a dedication to this, that means it has in your mind a value and a worth. And that is probably one of the most ultimate compliments you can ever give an artist. If I was a game dev and I saw people willing to spend that much time a day, play it, great. That is cool. But I also go with what Steven says. Go outside, take a break, touch some grass, right? This is a test. We don't even have max level yet. A lot of people who I've talked to who have problems with the game were just playing it too hard and just got burnt. They got burnt from the community, which is, I'll talk about some more here. They got burnt from playing too much, not enough content, things like that. Like, you can't do that. Like, man. But yeah, when it comes to community, that's our own making. That's our own beast. That's us. You know, it takes us to police it. You know, if someone is being toxic, blacklist them. Yeah, it's silly, it's stupid, it's petty, but yeah, if someone doesn't want to share their toys, well, fine, don't play with them anymore. Tommy's a dick. Don't play with Tommy anymore. Right? The same thing. Oh, that's so-and-so is being a dick. Okay, I'm just not going to group with them. Not going to interact with them. Boom. Ignoring someone is the best thing you could do. Don't feed into their troll. Don't give them the attention they crave. Don't do it. Block them. Don't buy from them. Boycott them. Right? Don't encourage them. And then this next part really kind of does fall on Intrepid's lap. Perception is reality. This is something I learned from the Air Force. How you perceive something is your reality. Regardless of the truth of what's happening behind the scenes, what's happening in actual reality, how you see it is what you're going to think is the truth. What is reality? And it kind of falls on Intrepid's lap here, right? The feeling is often that toxicity in-game and out-of-game goes unpunished. If you're an a-hole in-game, out-of-game, nothing will happen to you. If you're doxing people, if you do it in-game, yeah, they'll do something about it, but if you dox someone out-of-game, they won't do a thing about it because it's out-of-game, not our problems. And it's like, well, hey, that's someone who's playing your game. Their name is going to be associated with your game. That's your product. And yeah, you always have the right to refuse service to anyone. Like, you should do something about that. If people are being a-holes, racists, doxing out of game, yeah, hold them to that in-game. Yeah. How you act out of game should determine how I treat you in-game too. Like, that they're not exclusive to each other. There's no like hard brick wall. If you're an a-hole, you're an a-hole. Hate to say it, right? And if you're doing things that are horribly wrong, that we could all agree is socially wrong in a social game, yeah, if you want to preserve the sanctity of your game, if you want to preserve the faith and the perception of your game, you need to preserve the perception of your game and the faith people have in it. Why did people love classic WoW back in the day? There's GMs all over the place. If there's a bot, GM kicked it. You made a report, you got to talk to a GM. There's fun stories behind like the conversations you'd have with GMs. It was a good interaction. People had a good perception of classic WoW. Was it the reality? Probably not. There's probably gold farmers and all the other horrible things going on back in classic WoW, but the perception was that it was a great fun time, right? Now, there's no GMs really. Like, you talk to bots and it's tickets online. So when you're in game, if there's a problem, you just feel like Blizzard doesn't care. Do they actually care? Well, probably. It's their product. I hope they care, right? Is it the truth? Who knows? But the perception is that they don't care. And right now, the perception is like, oh, if someone's being toxic or horrible, yeah, they won't care. If someone's exploiting, Intrepid won't care. Like, that's the perception. Is that the reality? No. I imagine Intrepid cares very deeply. I imagine Steven cares very deeply. But the perception is there. And this may be the teacher in me, but like, when I set rules at the beginning of the year, I'm very strict and very harsh, and I'm very open and very honest and very loud about it. And that sets a tone. That sets the rules. That sets the taboos and mores. That sets the atmosphere for what you can and can't do in my classroom. That sets the setting. If I know someone's going to be, goofing off on their phone, I crack down on it hard. First couple students, definitely I'm yelling at, boom. After that, you're getting your time slips, right? In this, yeah, give them the hard warnings. Give them the bans, the temp bans, the permanent bans. But do it as well in a way that everyone can see it as well. You need to give that perception to everyone to see, hey, if you do this, this is what's going to happen to you. And even if that's not the truth, even if you just slack off, say after 2-3 weeks you stop banning people, well, that perception was early on set, and people could see that and believe that. Even if it's not the truth anymore, it's the perception that matters, right? I feel like I'm almost getting into the Always Sunny in Philadelphia. It's the implications, right? It really is. It's about the mindset and the feelings and the thoughts you have behind it. And I know Steven just posted a thing saying, like, hey, yeah, we're going to start giving feedback on player reports, and there's going to be a feedback system, and there's going to be some WoW before it gets developed. But yeah, that's great. Make a ban wall. Make a public shaming wall. Tell us who did get banned. Why not? Be proud of those numbers. You did it before when it came to like cranking out how many people you banned. Do that. Make it seem like you're being tough on it. Like the perception. Give us the perception. You are banning people who are toxic, banning people who are exploiting, banning people who are breaking TOS. Like, even if you're not, just make it up even. Just make it look like it, That's yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm encouraging you to do a bad thing by just doing pure looks, but like, hopefully you actually, do it. But yeah. We all live in a world that's on the edge already. It's not a fair world. It's a horrible world, in that kind of regards. You're dealt with the hands, the card that you're dealt with the hand of the cards you played, right? You know what I'm saying? We're already on edge due to politics, real life stressors, and when you're compounding real life stress into a game that you feel isn't fair, between the constant grind of life and the constant grind of a game and never-ending news cycles and current politics and climate, and people are jaded to begin with, and already as internet people, we're already jaded, cynical human beings. The last thing we need is to log into what's supposed to be our escape, in a system that we think is supposed to be fair and balanced because it's a game, and here we are, we're supposed to experience play, right? When you're a kid and you're playing with your parents, hopefully your parents just didn't beat the crap out of you, but played with you. And when you have a child, hopefully you're not just beating the crap out of your son when he wants to roughhouse, but you're having fun with him and letting him, play and wrestle. You're not just, like, oh, you want to fight, beating the crap out of him. You're giving, some fairness. Your fight. You're giving some leeway. You're not being so toxic about it. And as a company, you also want to encourage that people act this way. And you also want to make sure that people aren't just abusing systems and getting away with it without, people being held accountable for their actions, because we see that in real life all the time. I mean, hell, if you follow politics at all, it's nothing but just dumb people saying dumb things and people doing bad things and getting away with it, right? And that's unfair. We hate it. Both sides of the fence. Doesn't matter what political party you believe in. You could agree that that's happening on either side of the fence. Even if you say your party is perfectly clean, at least you could agree the other party's doing it, right? Whatever. Be as partisan as you want. But the point stands, we don't like it, right? We don't like it in our games. It's a fantasy world. At least give us the fantasy that things are fair. Give us the fantasy that things are fair. Make it seem like real money trading isn't going to give me a leg up. That exploiting isn't going to give me a leg up. That being a toxic asshole isn't going to give me a leg up. Self-important behavior is one thing, but like, it's frustrating when it affects my gaming too. And then that's ultimately all I can say, right? Is there a solution? I don't know, really. I can give my advice: be hard on crime, kind of like thing, like crack down on people who are a-holes in and out of game. Be open and honest about punishments. Show those punishments. Hell, show those accounts who get banned, those players, right? Like, why not? It's all about having that self-awareness as well. As a player yourself, think about it. Are you making this a fun game for other people? Are you playing with kids, or are you just beating the crap out of them? Are you playing to let them have fun and maybe you have some fun too? Or are you just trying to be so try-hard you push them all away, and thus you'll have the sandbox all by yourself, and you might as well just, play by yourself for the rest of the time, right? It's a game. It's a test. Keep that in mind first and foremost, that this is all a test. Let's act like adults. We all are adults. Let's remember why we play this game in the first place, is to have fun, to explore, to build something together. It's a social game. Let's have the social element about this. Let's not tear each other down and then beat the crap out of each other and just insult each other and just dox each other and make this so toxic that you wouldn't want to commit to this anyway. Because let's be honest, if I want to just sit and craft by myself all day without other people, I just play Valheim. I play this for the community because it's social, right? Anyway, guys, what do you guys think? As a casual Andy like myself, that's my viewpoints. You tell me what your experiences are. What's your thoughts of the community? What have you experienced? What's the behaviors like in your opinion? Leave comments below. Tell me, like, hey, if you're a fellow casual, casuals unite. Comment that, casuals unite. Whatever you need to do. If you're out there being a good guy, keep rocking it. My best memories are in WoW Classic back in the day, Vanilla WoW. Meeting that random paladin out in the middle of the wild who buffs you and gives you a random item and says, hey man, you need help with this quest, and helps you out, and then you hope to meet him again someday, but you never probably ever will. But when you do see that name in chat, when he pops up in trade chat, he's like, oh dude, that's the guy who helped me. Like, be the person that your younger self wished was around. When you played this game, if you are trying to have that 16-year-old mindset when you played an MMO at 16, be the person that you wish you ran into back then. That's my biggest advice. Anyway, guys, that's all I gotta say. I'll see you all next time. See you all on the high ground.